Welcome to the first episode of Pride in Progress. I am your host, Juliet, and this podcast is essentially about expanding the queer label. We want to learn more about the person behind the label, who they are, what their story is, what their successes are, what their ambitions are, and that's what we're here to explore. So my first guest today is one of my best friends. I can't look at her with a straight face.
Let's keep a straight face.
Excuse me. I can't look at her with a straight face, but she is a gem amongst people in LA. Truly one of my favorite people in the world. I can't speak highly enough of you.
I appreciate it.
Lina.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. I'm really excited to have you.
Me too.
Yeah. We were talking about this
to have
and
me as the first guest.
oh God, it's terrible.
Absolute honor.
Yeah, it's terrible. God knows I'm never nice to her.
Too nice. Too nice.
I'm so mean to you. It's horrible.
Yeah, very mean. To
Yeah,
a point
I
that
know.
you ask me
I
if it's
know.
too nice, and I'm like, you're fine, Brad.
I have to make sure, you know. Like I'm here to give
Well,
you
thanks for
shit, but
having me.
I have to keep it in check. I'm so excited to have you. You have such an amazing life story that I don't think people hear about enough, or the people in your inner circle, people who have come in and out of your life.
Yeah, I don't talk a lot.
No, you're very to
Yeah.
yourself.
Yes.
And I love that about you. But you have such an interesting life story, and I want to talk more about that today. If you're willing to open
yeah,
up,
it's
of course.
first time ever, but why not? Let's do it.
Share your story. It's a platform.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. Excuse me. I have a little bit of a cough, so if I cough through this episode, I'm sorry. But tell us about growing up in Iran. Do you have any specific stories or instances that stick out to you?
Well, to be honest, I knew you were going to ask this question, so I was thinking about it driving here, and I was like, or when she asked me that question, what should I say?
Mhm.
And then there was a lot of crazy experiences, so I was thinking, should I tell her about the time that I flipped my car, or should I tell her about the time that, like, one of the million times that I got arrested? But then in the end, I was like, but these are also dark, and life wasn't that dark over there.
Mhm.
You know, like, there was a lot of cases that when I would tell people that I'm from Middle East, some people, when you say Middle East, they think about desert and camels, but it's not.
Yeah, totally. Oh my God, that's so true.
But it's not.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I guess my voice is. But there was a lot of good memories,
Mhm.
a lot of happy memories. And when I was thinking about it, I realized that it's not just people from Iran. I noticed that most of the people, that they're coming from a society that has been through a lot.
Yeah.
They tend to find happiness in little stuff.
Mhm.
They cherish every little thing. That's
Wow,
why
yeah.
most of the countries or cultures that they have this, harsh past, or like even at this moment, they're going through a lot of difficulties. It can be with the government, it can be religion, it can be whatever, anything.
Mhm.
Their musics are very happy.
Yeah.
Their dancing style is very jumpy. It's not just your sister married an Armenian.
Yeah, she
How
does. She
it
does.
is.
Yeah, yeah,
Or-
we know how it is. Yeah,
or
true.
the food. There's a lot of different flavors.
Mhm.
There's a lot of colors. It's just, it feels like they tend to find happiness in every little thing.
Mhm.
So that made me think about all the little moments that I had with my friends.
Yeah.
I remembered one of the times that me and my best friend in Iran,
Mhm.
Celine, we still talk almost every day.
Yeah.
We told our parents that we're going to a business trip,
Uh-huh.
and we flew to this little island. We rented a
What did you do?
Camaro, and
Uh-huh.
we partied. Like, I remember the first night, it was like almost 5 a.m. We were playing cards with this group of girls and boys that they were drunk too.
Yeah, yeah.
And we just watched the sunrise. Cops showed up, obviously, and we had to
Obviously.
run away.
Yeah. Because partying is illegal there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost everything.
Yeah. Wow.
But it's crazy. Like, parties I've been there to, I haven't seen something like that even in Vegas. Because
Wow.
if you get caught, you're screwed anyway. So you go hard.
Mm.
It's just,
Yeah,
everything
that
is just
makes sense.
crazy. It's just too much of everything. So
Yeah.
it's actually very fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot
Yeah.
of sense.
You live with the fear.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you get caught, if that I've been to police station. I can't even count how many times.
Mm-hmm.
But I would get arrested. I would stand in front of the camera like, you know,
You just have a big smile on your face.
Yeah, and then I was literally
Yeah.
texting my friend, like, come get me. And then like 3-4 hours later, I'm out of the police station. We're driving to another party.
Yeah.
You just don't care.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I've always thought of you as a very fearless person. And I think you might be one of the only people I've come across in my life who I would deem that. Do you think it's because
Well,
you
I've
grew up
seen
in
a
Iran?
lot.
Yeah.
I've been through a lot.
You embrace the fear.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
You kind of learn to even enjoy the pain.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it sounds weird, but it's there anyways.
Yeah.
So, and life is too short. Just enjoy it.
Yeah,
just
that,
live through it and just go with it. It's just another experience.
that makes a lot of sense. Because if you're growing up around so much suffering, that can easily become your normal. And I think it could very easily take over. And a lot of people, understandably so, would become depressed and want to recoil. But you did the opposite. And it sounds like a lot of people in Iran practice the same sort of notion.
Yes, it's just when I moved to America, one of the first things that I noticed was people were nagging a lot. You know, it's just like always there's something to be pissed about.
Yeah, it's very Western. It's so true.
Yeah, but like over there, there was so many problems, and in the end of the night, we're just like, cheers, and you just like, whatever. You got arrested today? Tell me, like, how thick was the lady's mustache? And you're just like, you just live the life. It's just
it is what it is.
Yeah.
I have to ask. I know you're putting an optimistic spin on this, and I love that. But I have to ask, why did you get arrested? Just tell me one time.
Oh, many reasons.
Yeah.
First of all, you can't be with the opposite gender in a closed area.
Oh wow.
So not even in the car.
Oh, you can't?
No. Like one of the times that they
even if you're
arrested me-
married?
Oh, if you're married or engaged, you're okay.
Okay.
But you have to prove.
Wow.
I mean, no one cares. No one cares.
Yeah.
But if you get arrested, that can be one of the reasons.
Okay.
Once I got pulled over because I have my sunglasses on my forehead.
God.
I'm not lying. It's like, it's real.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that is such a
Yeah. I asked
Wow.
the lady, I was like, give me one reason. Where are you taking me? And she was like, woman is like pearl.
Mhm.
And you're beautiful and you're attractive. So you have to make sure that your beauty is not going to be reachable for men, because if they look at you and then they commit sin in their head, you're going to be the reason they're going to hell for. And I was like, can they go to heaven blind? But I just do whatever I want. Just take your eyes off. Like, I don't care, dude.
My God.
But yeah.
Wow. Talk about an anti-woman culture.
Yeah.
Because everything is blamed on you.
We were going out of town, as always, to party from university. And I was in the car with 3 other people and one guy, 2 other girls. And they pulled us over because we had a guy in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the opposite gender. He can't be in the car with you.
Yeah.
So I asked the officer, are you going to pull over every single public transportation bus? Because it's a closed area. There's girls.
That is actually a very valid point.
He told me I'm talking too much and I should get in the car, but I tried.
Yeah, you tried. Sounds about right.
Right.
Is that where you get your salesperson
Yeah,
skills from?
and I saw that sergeant a month later in an underground party. We tapped on his shoulder, and I was like, "What's up?
What's
And he
up?
was like,
I see you."
Oh, I'll remember your face next time. I'm not gonna pull you over. I'm like, okay, much appreciated.
Yeah. You build connections as you go. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay, a couple years ago, I think you told me this story, but I need to know if I've made it up in my head. When you immigrated to the States, you
Yeah.
got on a flight. Didn't you have a champagne story?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell me that story again?
So in Iran, we had to wear the hijab,
Yeah.
and I learned like literally few days before we fly out of the country, I was at this goodbye party, which cops showed up again. But before they show up, a friend of mine over there was telling me that I didn't know. So any airplane that you get into, whatever country that airplane belongs to, inside the plane is considered that country's territory. So our flight was a Turkish airline.
Oh,
So
okay.
inside the airplane, I was actually free to take my scarf off.
Oh, okay. You're like,
So we got in the airplane and I saw the soldier outside.
mm-hmm.
He was just looking like, don't you dare.
Don't do it.
I was like, so I took the scarf off.
Yeah.
I ripped it off and my mom was like, Lina, like, we didn't fly yet. Like, don't risk it because they might get you out of the plane. I didn't care.
Yeah.
And I ordered
yeah.
a glass of champagne and I just was like, cheers, motherfucker.
Yeah. You're like, goodbye.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And I never looked back.
Wow.
I love the people.
Mm-hmm.
I love them. I miss my friends so much.
Yeah. When did you immigrate to the States?
Almost 11 years ago.
Wow.
I was 20, almost 4 when we left the country.
Mm-hmm.
I celebrated my 24th birthday in Vienna. And then 4.5 months later, we flew to LA.
Did you speak any English?
I was very confident. Like, I
Yeah.
wasn't fluent, but I would talk. Like,
Okay.
I told you, like, people would tell me stuff, and I would be like, yes. And then they would be like, yes. I was like, no.
No.
I had no idea what. I would just guess. Like,
So when you
yeah, so I
got
figured it
here,
out.
how did you learn to speak the language?
I didn't stay in Gelendel. I got out.
You got
And I became friends with a lot of people that the only way to communicate was English.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't have any other choice.
Yeah.
I put myself in that situation and it pushed me. And I had to work.
Mm-hmm.
I had to support my family.
Of course.
I didn't have any other choice.
You brought your entire family here, right?
Yes. My mom and 2 brothers.
Yeah. Wow. And you supported their did they live in Glendale at the time?
So when we got here, we stayed at my uncle's for exactly a month and 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then we rented a place. All 4 of us moved into this little apartment.
Wow.
And just started from there. But it was
Mm-hmm.
a lot of pressure. At first, I was working at 5 places at the same time.
Wow. 5 places at the
5
same
places
time?
At the same time. Like,
I didn't know
I
that.
would walk to the closest 7-Eleven at 4:30 a.m., getting off the job, grabbing a cup of coffee, crying, walking back. I don't want to do this.
How many hours did you sleep?
Sometimes I would have my 8 hours of sleep, but most of the time it was like 4 hours, 5
4 hours. So how many?
But it wasn't
20-hour
long. It
days?
was like for eight months. That was my lifestyle.
What were the 5 jobs?
Driving instructor.
Mm-hmm.
I was a cashier at a dollar place. I was a waitress at a restaurant.
Uh-huh.
I was doing catering. And on my free time,
Yeah.
I bought a bicycle for $100 and I was selling knives for a company.
Oh my God. Was it an
So-
MLM?
It was Cutco. was
Oh,
the
okay,
brand.
okay.
So I would just ride my bicycle to different people's places, and then I would give them a little gift if they would refer me to a few more people. That's how I would find other people.
Okay.
And then I would just ride to their houses, just, show them how it works, what it is. And if I would get lucky, I would sell something.
Talk about a hustle mentality. That is insane. So what drove you to work that many hours?
My family.
Yeah.
Family is everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, you might feel pressured mentally or feel exhausted physically, but in the end of the day, when you're going home and you see your mom smile, you're not tired anymore.
Yeah.
It's just,
Wow.
it worth the world. And my mom is a single mom.
Yeah.
So if I didn't sleep enough for 8 months, she didn't sleep enough for almost 20 years raising us.
Wow.
So
That is such a
it's-
beautiful mindset, and I completely understand it. Whenever I saw my mom smile, yeah, it's like the world lit up.
enough. Yeah.
Also, my mom, side note, ray of sunshine. What a wonderful human being.
Amazing.
Like, incredible. So I completely understand your notion on
Yeah.
family is everything. And I think if I had been put in your situation, I probably would have done the same thing.
Of course.
Yeah.
And when you don't have any other choice, I don't know, we humans, we adapt to every situation.
True. Very true.
When you're there and it's happening, you just do it.
Yeah.
Later on, maybe you look back and you're like, wow, how the hell did I do that?
Mm-hmm. That's
like
so
now
true.
talking about it, I'm like, oh my God, like, no.
I can't believe you did that.
Yeah, if they would bring time,
Yeah.
no, I wouldn't do it. But probably if I would be in the same situation again, I would do it.
I understand. I mean, people always ask me when I lost my mom, how do you go on? And my answer to that is I have no choice. I have to. And she would also want me to do that. She would want me to continue living my life. She would want me to live my life to the fullest. She wouldn't want me to seclude myself in depression.
Of
you know.
course. I'm pretty sure she's proud of you.
I hope so.
She's proud.
I hope so. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. You have to keep going. And we do have this insane ability to adapt as humans. We're survivors at heart.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I was very spoiled back in Iran. I had a pretty comfortable life.
You're spoiled, but you're getting arrested every 5 seconds.
I was a very unappreciative math person. I was not this.
Yeah.
My youngest brother, he would always make fun of me. He would say I have 6 packs on my forehead because I was always like this. I was always nagging.
Yeah.
Always. I had a nice car. I had a good job. I had
went to university,
friends,
right?
I would party, a lot of trips, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very spoiled.
Yeah.
And then when we immigrated, I was like, oh shit, like dad is not with us. I'm the oldest child. And if I knew maybe a few words in English, my family had no idea.
Yeah.
My brother found a girlfriend in Vienna. You would find a girlfriend anywhere.
Yeah.
And the girl was, she was from there. She would speak English, but my brother had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he would like say like, that meant, do you want me to take my sweater off?
Yeah.
If it's cold.
Yeah.
Like that's how he would try to, like they were zero English.
Yeah.
Just hi and bye. Wow. And I had to manage everything.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I did it. To be honest, I don't even know.
I do. I mean,
But
that's,
no other
I'm
choice.
saying I can't believe you did this, but at the same time, I can believe that you did this.
Yeah, I feel the same.
Yeah, that's just your personality. You just have that gall. You're like, well, I don't have a choice. I have to do it.
When you're there, you do it.
Yeah, you do it. You got to do it. I'm pulling up another I'm pulling up another question. Okay, so you just said that you got a job as a driving instructor without speaking a word of English. How did you get by?
I mean, it wasn't like not speaking a word of English, but it was really hard to communicate.
Yeah.
I remember I would just find a replacement for everything. Like I would call the curb rocks. I would call the steering wheel roll. I don't know why. Like maybe because it was round.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was mainly I was just making noises like like just stuff like that. But my students loved me.
I'm sure.
It was fun.
You got to do what you got to do.
And in Iran, I used to do like illegal drift races. So I was teaching especially the boy students how to drift. Oh, they would have a blast.
Oh, I'm sure they loved
But
you.
yeah, it was like a lot of just sound and like body language. And I would draw on paper. And little by little, I started learning.
Yeah.
Like I remember like maybe a year after like starting working as a driving instructor, I was at a movie theater and I realized that I understand without subtitles.
Oh,
That's when I realized that, like,
I understand.
I got it.
Yeah, I got it.
I'm almost there.
Yeah.
It's working. Yeah.
I feel like there's a moment where a language clicks.
Yeah.
And I'm not bilingual by any means. I only speak English. But I was learning Spanish for a while in high school. And it was honestly my worst subject. It was so bad. I was so bad at Spanish. But I remember there was a moment in class where it finally clicked. And I started doing a lot better in school.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that works for any language.
Yeah.
How many do you speak again?
4.
4. What languages do you speak?
Armenian, Farsi, Turkish, English.
Jesus. I speak 1.
I used to understand a little bit of Arabic when I
Yeah.
was a teenager because it was mandatory. We had to study it in school.
Okay.
But I don't remember anything. I just remember the bad words.
The U.S. is terrible at teaching kids how to speak other languages. Terrible.
Well, in Iran, I don't know how is it in like other countries around, but in Iran, it's like a trend.
Yeah.
It's a cool like side thing to get busy with. So most of the people, they take classes. I did take English classes.
Okay. All right, so that makes sense.
Yeah, that's why I had a little to
work
start
with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's no small feat,
But it's
though.
a thing, like a lot of people, like music, like another language to learn something.
Yeah.
It's just everybody does it.
Yeah. That makes
'Cause
sense.
there's not much to do. You don't have bars or clubs to go.
So you just learn
find
languages.
something else to get busy with. You learn something.
You learn languages. It's kind of a trend now with Duolingo. I
Yeah.
suppose that more people are
Yeah.
learning languages.
Yeah.
So, all right, maybe I should get on that. But I gotta ask, how did you go from driving instructor to Jaguar Land Rover saleswoman?
I was drunk.
What did that journey look like? You were drunk.
I was so tired. I did it for 7.5 years.
Yeah.
7 days a week. It was just, that job taught me patience for sure. And I met a lot of amazing people, but it wasn't always fun.
Yeah.
And I was really tired and there was no future in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was at a birthday party and friend of mine who's my coworker now, he told me, it was like a few weeks. He was working for a Jaguar Land Rover and he was like, do you want to try? And I was like, me? Car sales? No. Like, because in my head, it was just like this random typical car salesperson.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
I didn't know anything about the brand.
Yeah.
So he was like, just give it a try.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went for the interview. I bullshitted my way in. I hope my GM is not going to see this.
You fake it till you
I
make
lied.
it.
And they knew I'm lying.
I'm sure they knew. They're
the
smart guys.
manager who was like interviewing me, Vladimir,
Mm-hmm.
he started laughing because whatever he was asking, I was just like, I would say something. And he just started cracking up and was like, you know what? I like your personality. I think you will be fine.
Yeah.
You will learn.
Yeah, it's true.
And then they just hired me.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense to me. But I met you when you were a driving instructor, and watching you go from driving that, what was it, a Prius?
Yes.
It was a Prius.
It
It was a Prius. It was terrible. It was like a gray, old Prius. And I remember getting in there and I was like, it's so dirty.
Yeah, it was
so
gross.
bad.
That car was gross.
But watching you evolve, oops, I'm hitting the mic. Watching you evolve, you now drive a Defender. Which I'm like, I know it sounds funny, it sounds trivial, it's financial, I get it, but it's so incredible because you're like, yes, you have evolved financially, but you've also, I've watched you grow over those years, and it's been amazing to watch, because if anyone deserves the success that you've had, it's you.
I appreciate it.
It's really, truly. I mean, there are a lot of people out there who don't deserve what they have. You do. And more.
Oh, God bless them.
God bless
But
them.
I had that heartbreak too.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I
you
feel
did.
like
Yeah.
anybody, like, you know, the ones that you see, they started from nothing and they got somewhere. I mean, I didn't get anywhere yet, but I'm on my way and I know I'm not going to stop. They had a breaking point somewhere that woke them up. When I was at the driving school, I kind of got used to it. 7.5 years is not it's a pretty long time.
Yeah.
And it just like, I felt like because just it got me out of the having 5 jobs at the same time situation. I was like, I'm fine. It's okay.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Worse and worse, like maybe in 10 years, I'll just buy half of the school from him and it pays my bills. I was in the comfort zone. But once someone, when I was arguing with them, told me,
Arguing.
it hurt me a lot. But now looking back, I really appreciate it because that pain woke me up.
Yeah.
I looked at my bank account. I looked at my comfort zone. What am I doing with my life?
Yeah. That is
So
a good point.
Like, I'm not going to stay a car salesperson for the rest of my life, obviously. But at this point in my life, I have my plans. Like every single step. I need this much money for this move. And then I'm going to invest in this. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. If somebody wouldn't hurt me that much, I wouldn't wake up.
Yeah.
Maybe right now I was still a driving instructor. Happy with like 2-3K a month. Bills are paid. Who cares?
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you need someone to wake you up. And sometimes it comes in the form of a friend, right? I mean, you and I talk about this all the time, but you and I are not easy on each other. No. We constantly keep each other going. Yeah. If I get complacent, you call me out. If you get complacent, which I haven't seen ever, but I would call you out, you know? And I think we keep each other motivated in that way. Sometimes you need to hear something that you don't want to hear, but that can also sometimes come in the form of cruelty, which has happened to me before.
That is tough love.
It is tough love in a sense, but I mean, that cruelty that some people can show you, it can really wake you up and it can make you change your life. I mean, God knows I've been through it. I've had some...
Changes your perspective.
It does. It does. It can completely change your life.
And we LA people, I might get a lot of hate for saying this, but it's so LA that if somebody doesn't agree with you, you say, oh, they're toxic.
Oh my
they're
God,
whatever.
yes. Yes.
Not everybody
yeah.
that tells you you shouldn't do something wrong is trying to control you.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the tough love.
Yeah.
Maybe they care for you. Maybe they see the end of the road. That's why they're trying to stop you. Or if somebody doesn't agree with you, they're not toxic. They're not manipulative. They're not gaslighting you.
Yeah.
You got to know the person. I'm not saying whoever doesn't agree with you, you have to just like accept them. But you got a brain up there.
Yeah.
Like, what if you just take a moment and think?
Drop the ego.
Yeah.
Because I think I completely agree with you. And I guess I could get in trouble for saying this, but I think we do, especially in Western culture nowadays, we do live in this victim mentality.
Yes.
And there have been many times where I have fallen victim to the victim mentality. I've definitely not been above it in the past, because it is so ingrained into culture. It's very easy to point the finger. But what I realized for my own personal development, when I started taking responsibility for my own actions, for my own shit, that's when you gain the control back.
Exactly.
I mean, take my toxic relationships, for example, whether it be a friendship or a romantic relationship, it's still my fault because I'm the one that chose to be with that person. I'm the one that chose to dedicate my time to those people. I'm the one that put my energy into that person. Even if I saw the red flags, didn't matter. If I liked them, if it was a romantic dynamic, I would just go, whatever. Yeah. I'm just going to ignore this giant red flag in my face. Because
compromising.
You compromise your values. And then when it finally bites you in the ass and you get that wake-up call, you're like, damn. And it's so easy to blame that person and say, well, they're toxic. That could be true. They could be toxic. But at the end of the day, you're the one that chose to stay in it.
Exactly.
So it's your fault.
You got to just own up.
And once you start making everything your fault, that's when you actually gain control of your life. It might sound pessimistic, but that's just how I feel.
It's the truth.
It's the truth. It's what's driven me forward.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
It's a good point.
I'm kind of switching gears here, but tell us about your family dynamic and how did you...
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. But I know your family kicked you out of the house for being gay.
Yes.
How did you rebuild your relationship after that?
So, almost half a year after that happened, I was at a shopping center, walking around with my ex-girlfriend, current very good friend.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mila.
What's up, girl?
I love her. But I think I love her husband more than I love her. But, we were passing by this, like there was a lot of perfumes, and then I saw my mom's. And it got me really emotional because I really missed her.
Yeah, yeah.
So I sprayed it on a little card and I put it in my wallet and I just kept smelling it.
Oh.
And Mila, she was like, Lina, life is short. And believe it or not, there's going to be a day that she's not going to be around anymore.
Yeah.
And that day, you're not going to care what was the problem. All you're going to think of will be, I could have her and I didn't.
Yeah, yeah.
So I literally texted my mom the same thing.
Yeah.
I was like, listen, I understand we have a lot of like disagreements, but in the end of the day, you're my mom and I love you and I miss you. And I want to enjoy your presence as long as you're around. I might go before her. I don't know what's going to happen, but there is going to be a limit to what I have with her. And she was very open about it. I was shocked, but she, like when I went to pick her up, we decided to go grab tea together. She came to me with flower bouquet, homemade cake, and homemade food. And I still have those flowers. I have one of those Beauty and the Beast thingies, the glass jars.
Did you preserve it?
I still have it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so, it's going to sound bizarre, but romantic in a way.
Yeah,
like
it was
it's
a
so
very emotional day.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So that keeps me going.
God, your mom she loves you, you know?
Yeah, I love her too. She's like best friend to me.
It's so difficult when you have this dynamic where you're best friends, and I know you have that with your mom, but she still doesn't accept this integral part of you. Do you just not talk about it?
Yeah, it's like, so after we started talking again, we decided to have a family meeting.
Yeah.
And it was me, my mom, and my two brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to talk about it.
Yeah.
And one of them, he doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
He was very young when we moved to America. He really doesn't care.
Yeah.
I was like, don't hurt mom. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. Be whatever you want to be. But the other one and my mom, they were like, hell no.
Yeah.
So my response was, I've already been through it.
Mm-hmm.
I know how it feels to live without you guys. I survived.
Mm-hmm.
But I would love to have you guys in my life. And I would love to have a respectful relationship with you guys. I will be respectful. I'm not going to run around with a gay flag in my hand.
Yeah.
But let's just, let's just have each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to, trust me, I will be respectful.
Yeah.
So it was like an agreement.
Mm-hmm.
We don't talk about it. My ex would come to every single family gathering. She was at my brother's wedding, my other brother's proposal. They knew, obviously. I'm wearing a freaking suit, and the girl standing next to me is wearing a dress and heels. And then
she knows.
She's like, oh, it's cold. I'm putting my jacket around. Come on.
Yeah.
It's so obvious. But
Yeah.
we don't talk about it. And I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be, I don't know, maybe it seems selfish to me.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some people hearing me be like, no, it's your right. You have to just slap it on their face. But it's a two-way thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's such a mature way to go about it, because from my perspective, I have such a supportive family and I'm very blessed in that regard. I obviously know that's not the case for everybody. So I could be coming from a biased perspective, but I don't know if I'd be able to do it. Because in a sense, I do agree with the people that are like, well, it's your right, because you don't have a choice, right? This is who you are. You don't have a choice in your sexuality. I mean, if you did, you probably wouldn't choose it.
I would pick straight all day.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
easy.
It's easier. I mean, let's just face it. It is easier. Yeah. So.
We have a straight confirmation.
Yeah, we have a straight confirmation over there. Yeah, it is. No, it is, truly. So, if you had the choice, but so, from a sense, I do understand where people are coming from and that it is your right. But at the same time, it's so mature to say I care more about my relationship with my family than them accepting my sexuality. I don't think a lot of people would be able to do that. I don't know if I would.
I mean,
if
as
I
much as I want them to respect me for who I am, I need to respect them too.
Yeah.
I can't change my 60 years old mom.
Yeah.
She grew up like this.
Mm-hmm.
When the day comes and I have the right person that I know I will get old with and I will die with, of course I'm going to share it with them.
Yeah.
They will know already, because I don't live a secretive life. Yeah, maybe in front of them I don't make out or do anything romantic.
Of course.
But it's very obvious. This is my partner, and my partner is joining every family gathering, and it's everywhere with me. I was living with my ex for almost a year, and they knew.
Yeah, of course.
And there was no second bed in my place. There was one bed, and they knew we're sharing it. So it's just, we wouldn't talk about it clearly. But when the moment comes, of course. And I really hope, my fingers are crossed, they will be supportive and they will be at my wedding.
Yeah, I hope so
but
too.
But if not, it's life.
Yeah.
But I will do that for the right person when I know it's the one. For every single girlfriend that I find, I'm not going to break my mom's heart.
Yeah. Ugh.
I'm not going to do that to her.
Yeah.
But I mean, she's already, it's so big.
Yeah.
For her to be that chill, to have my partner with family, all that, I know my mom. That's huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Like I said, I can't even imagine. And again, I can't emphasize this enough, but you have such a mature mentality around that. I mean, I haven't really been in a serious relationship. I mean, we're talking years. I've never been in that kind of relationship. I would love to, but I just haven't found the right person. Just saying. But, one of my visions is I want that person to constantly be around my family. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm such a family-oriented person. So that would be hard for me. I know it would.
It's very challenging.
Yeah, I'm sure.